Hello everyone, in this video I'll be explaining to medium-sized business owners how to implement machine learning and what actually machine learning is and how they can use it to optimize their operations and increase their sales satisfactions. Based on my experience, this is the same techniques big brands and big corporations use. You ever wonder how big brands and corporations, their cost is very low and at the same time the efficiency of their operation is pretty high and the quality stay consistent even if the revenue got increased, because it's all about the system. I understand you've been in business for a while and you know we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall into our systems, and this is exactly what I'll be talking about in this video. And this big part of to build a good system is to understand how machine learning works. I will simplify what machine learning is into a few steps, and also I'll be emphasizing about the implementations, and I'll promise you I'll make it very accessible for you regardless what industry you're in. So if you are a medium-sized business owner, which is when I talk about medium-sized, that's related to your industry. So let's say if you are a restaurant, that means you're making something between 200,000 to 2 million, 2.5 million dollar a year. And if you, let's say if you are a pharmaceutical industry, that means you're making something between 5 million to 20 million dollar a year. You got the idea. And by the way, understanding this concept, what I'm talking about, without even implementation, that will put you ahead in your market. So before we dive in, let me give you a little bit about me. I'm a business development and technology integration specialist. I work with medium-sized business owners to help them identify the gap in their business and how they can actually implement technology to improve the quality of their operations and also increase customer satisfactions based on their budget and based also on their goals. And what I'll be talking about this video, this is actually one of the techniques I use with my clients and I'm learning throughout my years of my experience working with big corporations and big brands. So first, let's understand what machine learning is. Machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence, AI. It's an algorithm where you can understand data and imitate how humans will react to this data. So let's say if you have a sales data or a customer feedback data, you want to look at this data as a business owner and make decision based on this data. Me and you know, as you a medium-sized business owner, you come on the level of, we call it a plateau in business development, where there is no more growth. You kind of stuck on revenue, you making profit, but at the same time you can move on to the next level, because the reason is you don't have a strong system. And this is all what I'll be talking about this channel. So let's go back. Machine learning is actually one tool of artificial intelligence, and with all the technological advancement we have today, it's very accessible to medium-sized business owner to implement. So let's dive in on the implementation side of machine learning after us right now understanding what machine learning is. So now let's actually know what's the type of machine learning us as a business owners can utilize to actually help us to optimize our operations. There is so many of them, but in this video I'm gonna talk about the two main one, which most likely business owners they start with. The first one, it's called linear regression, which basically it's an algorithm where you build and you kind of identify the goal from it based on only two options. For example, it's like you give it a sales data and you ask it, what's the best day of the year I can generate income from? And it's a kind of between only two options or three options. And this is basically the linear regression what I use for. The second type of machine learning, it's called the decision tree, which is a little bit more complicated, which usually the answer of this data which you analyzed comes to multiple answers as clusters. Let's say if you're a restaurant and you want to use the decision tree algorithm in machine learning, you're gonna give it a sales data and you're gonna ask it, I want you to put for me a plan where I can make the best menu based on my sales. So it's collect multiple spots in data to give an answer for, and that's why we call it that decision making tree. And now let's dive into the implementation. How can I implement something like this algorithm into my business? The first step is to collect the data, right? Which is a huge step, which already most of business owners, especially the medium-sized business owners, already been doing this step for years, which is including inventory, including sales, including customer feedback. You need to collect all this data and just look at it. So you have it in your hand, and now you need to look at it. That's as simple as that. That is only the first step. The second step is data preparation. What you need to do is you need to start preparing the data, which means you're gonna look at this data and see what's the use of this data. What does it mean? It means, let's say if you are a retail store and you have multiple t-shirts, multiple shirts, multiple pants, and each one of them has multiple sizes, and then you have the cost, and then you have the prices of each item, and then you have the different day off, and then you have a different selections, and then you have the men's, and then you have the women's, and you have all this data. You need to look at it and know, okay, how can I use this data? What's the benefit of me having this data? Let's clarify it more. Let's emphasize a little bit more on this point. You need to understand, if you have this data, you are a superhuman. What can you get out of this data to improve the area you wanted to focus on the most? Let's say in your stage you're at in your business right now, you know if you reduce the cost of your business, you'll be able to move on in your business and scale more. What does it mean, cutting costs? Cutting costs, you can break it into different things depending on your business. Let's say if we go back to retail stores, it means not ordering stuff you don't sell. How many retail stores I have witnessed to my clients, do you order different sizes, they offer different shirts, they don't even sell. So they end up by the end of the season giving it half price because they didn't basically sell it, right? So you need to understand this concept in business, which is already know. This is a problem you face on day-to-day operation. The third step is to choose the model. Which model of machine learning can help you more, right? Most likely I have talked about it. There are main two which basically fit the medium-sized businesses, but there is also multiple models where you can also operate on a higher scale. It depends what you need is. So let's say if you're business owners and you got all things figured out, you'll be able to implement a system where you'll be able to compare what you have to the overall industry you're in, right? And align your goals with that. Let's say with something like ChatGPT has all the knowledge in the world. Imagine you asking ChatGPT about something in your data. I kind of put it in perspective for you right now and see how big that would be, right? The fourth step is actually testing the data. How are you going to do this? What you're going to do is you're going to split this data, right? You're going to put the data. The step after that is to test actually the model. You're going to take this data, put it in the model, and let's consider it's like something like ChatGPT is like a bot, like where you can go just ask it questions. You're gonna go and start testing on answers you already know, right? Which is very, very significant because you don't want to build, a whole machine on something the accuracy is low, right? So you're gonna make sure of the accuracy by testing on already answers you already know. The step after this, you're gonna be the deploying. The deploying is a very, very important part because you'll be able to deploy it in a different ways, right? It depends on your budget. So let's say most of medium-sized business owners I work with, they like to start with a bot, like something they just go and ask it, questions. Some of them, they really have the capabilities to do something like a robot. They want to do like an actual robot can actually do things for them. It depends really what you are capable of, and it depends on your budget. But most likely the first step is gonna be, it's like a chatbot, and you just ask it the questions you are looking for based on the data you have put in. And by doing all the steps and just understanding it, now you know how big corporations and big brands works and how they actually capable of cutting costs and giving prices nobody else in the market can give, because simply they imitate the human decision process into machines based on real data. In this channel, I'll be talking about different technology medium-sized business owners they can use to actually implement, and as simple as to understand. So for them, when time comes and feel like, okay, now I know what I want, now I know what I need to deploy, do you talk to technology specialists or do you talk to a company? And that's what we do at Yerma. We already have system in place based on our experiences. We work around over 50 different industries, so we kind of understand the overview of industries. And even if we didn't work with this industry before, all businesses, it's rely onto the same idea, which is sales, marketing. And I made a whole video about understanding the 5 main element where technology can do the most in your business. You can go watch this video, and if the time you're watching this video is not out yet, that's mean it's gonna be out the week after. So stay tuned and subscribe this channel so you can actually watch the video. It's gonna come. And also put in the comment what industry you're in, because I'm doing case studies about different industries, so I can show you the benefit of different technologies on different industries. So maybe I can do a video or a case study on your industry. So put it in the comment and I will make a video breaking down what's the best technology solution for your industry based on also real facts of what big brands and big corporations have done so far with it. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.